Hey everyone, I'm here with Honza Bělohlávek, if I'm pronouncing that right.
That's okay. That's
And
okay.
you're the founder of Becom, um, and you're now in Prague, right? If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, still. Um, and so yeah, we're gonna ask you some questions. So maybe let's
All
start
right.
from the beginning. Uh, just briefly describe your company and tell me where it all
All right.
started and how you're doing.
All right. So yeah, as you said, I'm Honza Bělohlávek, and uh, 3 years ago we have established Becom, and Becom is creating e-commerce software as a service platform for SMBs and enterprises.
Hmm.
So in a nutshell, we are building a box, e-commerce box, and you can, as a customer, you can go to our website and just click, and we will install you automatically the eShop on Magento 2. And we are providing this as a service for our clients, so you don't have to have your own like in-house team of development of developers, or you don't have to have like really big experience with the market. So we will bring you all the trends, and we will bring you all the development on your behalf. So that's the point of the Becom. And now I'll be really honest with you, and I'll tell you that we are struggling right now with the current situation,
Okay.
because and I think that this is really good time to speak about the problems of startups, because I think that Becom is one the first of my many fails I will have in the future.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so I think that we have a lot of problems we can talk about.
Hmm.
And first of all is that I have one co-founder, and we had like team of 5 people,
Okay.
3 developers and 2 business people, business guys, me and my colleague. We've been solving the marketing and sales stuff.
Hmm.
So and basically that was the biggest problem actually, because and maybe you will have your own question. So let's go. Sorry.
No, no, no. I was actually going to ask that exactly.
All
Like,
right.
what are your roles in the company, and like, could you
All
have
right.
done it without your co-founder, essentially?
Yeah, the Becom started with the idea of my colleague Lucas, and he's quite older than me. He's 33, and
Hmm.
he had a lot of experience from digital agency, working in UK, and they've been developing really big e-commerce solutions for Land Rover, Jaguar, Durex, Rocket Bank Teaser, and Carpetride. And he had really big experience with Magento, the open source software. We've been building the software as a service platform on, and that was a pretty first idea to take this platform as an open source platform and do it like software as a service. And I think that was the idea, but the biggest problem we had is that we had no experience with entrepreneurship. We had no experience with startups,
Hmm.
and we've been like uh, newbies in this case.
Yeah, yeah.
So the biggest problem is that we had no validation before we started to develop the product, and before we got some like fixed costs, and that was the biggest problem. So we took so he left the his job, I left my job, and it was like, all right, so let's go to the startup, and the first thing we have to do is create really good logo and have really nice offices.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let's go to Berlin, let's go to the work
yeah.
lounge, and take some cost in the beginning, and it will be fine.
Hmm.
So that's total shit. And right now, once I'll be creating my second startup, the first of all, I will be the first thing I'll do is the validation of the product and the idea, and speak with a lot of people,
Yeah, yeah.
like thousands of people, before I like go to the code and do everything then.
But you essentially both had really good coding skills and not really anybody who was doing the business side.
That's funny because I had no coding skills,
Okay.
so I think this was my part. But I was like 22 years old and I had no experience, so I started like, and it was Lucas was really good coder and he had a lot of experience with DevOps and PHP, etc. So and it was like, all right, Honza, you'll do the marketing things and you'll do the sales because you are nice and you are like good to people and you're friendly and
yeah.
all the bullshit, but without any like hard skill, right?
Yeah.
So I was really shy to call anybody, like cold call and asking, hey guys, are you interested in this and this and this? And I think that that was the really big problem, because if you don't have any product in the beginning, you can ask for help, like go to your potential client and ask him for help, for feedback, for whatever you need. And it's really better for you as a salesperson ask for help than like sell your product. And it might really change your mindset in this case. And I think that the best thing we could do is to, all right, we have some idea, let's do really short presentation and go ask market, because that's the point.
It's really funny because I have a startup myself, but it's kind of also at the point of failure. And like I've learned that essentially you can have your first client before putting any money into it, and then like once you have that first client, you should start setting up the business and doing all the business side of stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, like with your co-founder, then, did you ever have any conflicts or something? Yeah, all the time.
Sure. No, all the time. I think that it wasn't all the time, but yeah, we spent a lot of time together, and it was like every day, 12 hours in work, and it's hard, and we've been hustling. And the biggest problem was also it started with the validation, because the success didn't come, and it was really stressful for us to work on something that doesn't have any sense for us, because nobody wants this, right? So this was the basement of all struggles between me and Lucas. And I think that in the future, if we have another company together, I think that we should recognize much better what are our like strong sides and weak sides, and like divide the work between us wisely, because Lucas was the idea owner, and he was also CEO, and he was also the main coder, and it was too much for him. So he'd been struggling with some like health problems, starting with this, and I was really stressful, and a lot of caffeine and a lot of stuff like that. So it was really hard, and we've been struggling. But we are really good friends, I think, and it's really good to have him like really near and discuss everything together. And the biggest problem was when Corona started, and we had to go to our like home office, and we had no contact together, like physical contact. And it was really hard to keep the mindset and keep the drill and keep the power to push everything together forward. And once we came back to the offices, we have started like do everything together, like discuss every shit together, and it was really helpful for us. And maybe it was the reason why we have realized that, hey, stop here, stop raising another money, and think nobody wants that. Why we are building this? And that was pretty cool when we came back to the office and started together like everything from scratch.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. So you kind of resolved it then to by just being there for each other and like asking questions.
Yeah, and of course, like 1.5 year ago, we had really like bad situation,
Mm.
and I screw him all the time, and it was really hard. And we've been drunk, and
Yeah, okay.
it was really pain. And take your 40% and go to hell, and it
Mm.
was really shit. And but it's normal. And then we woke up, and it was like before.
Yeah,
So
okay, okay. And then like how, because you have employees, you have 3 employees, right?
yeah,
How
right.
do you like, did you handle that part, and like the culture and like the stress
hmm
combined with it?
Uh, another problem. I think that everything started with Vojta. Vojta is really cool guy, and I really
Mm-hmm.
love him. And he was something like CTO. And it was the biggest problem was that as startup, I think as a co-founders, you need to find people who are able to work for you, like with a really big passion,
Mm-hmm.
and in the best case for free. But it's really hard,
Yeah.
right? It's really hard. So we heard his like needs about uh, salaries,
Mm-hmm.
and salary was pretty high for a startup, and it was the biggest problem in the beginning, because in the beginning we had one big client,
Mm-hmm.
and we had money for this, and we did some custom development, and it's really good paid, right? And we had money for him. But now if I like hire another guy to my startup, it's like, hey, here is a vision. We have validated idea, and this is potential of the market.
Mm-hmm.
And in the future, if we can like deal with some fixed salary for you, and like lower salary, you can have your own equity in the future, some
Yeah,
option
yeah,
pool or whatever. So that was the biggest problem in the beginning. And uh, and also we didn't like manage all the expectations together. So Vojta is a guy who's really good coder, but he didn't want to manage other people, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the CTO is not for him. And we had with Lucas, we had big expectations from him. In this case, like managing people
Mm-hmm.
and be responsible for some things in the company. But Vojta didn't want to do that, right? So that's absolutely okay. I agree with this. But we as a co-founders, we failed when we didn't go to him and ask him, hey, Vojta, do you want to do this? Do you really want to do this and manage other people, and in the future have like 100 people under your wings and care about them?
Yeah.
And it was really our mistake, not his mistake. That's first problem. And the second problem was that we had like no manager experience before, and I think that we were really good friends with guys, and it was really good. And I think that the culture came worse when we are starting like realize that something is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When we had custom development and we had money on our account, and it was pretty cool and fun, and we went to had some beers after work, and it was pretty cool. But when guys started to feel that something is not right,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you could go to our office and you can feel some bad smell in the
Yeah,
air.
yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
really,
Like a bad
yeah,
culture, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, and everything started with no success. If we have some success in
yeah.
our
Mm-hmm.
business, and we had success, but I think that the biggest problem, and it's not so much like about team or about people in the company, but
Mm-hmm.
we were really focused on investment. And it was like, hey guys, we need to raise some money, and it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
bullshit, right? You are not building the startup for raising money. It's really shit idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of our like success, but it wasn't success, right? It was just um
Yeah,
shit. All right,
yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, no. And then like because like throughout these 3 years, have you you did some market research, but did you like pivot a lot and change pivot business ideas, or did you always stick with the same thing?
Yeah, actually, we had some market research. Sure, we had really big opportunity, and without those things, I think that we couldn't raise any money. All right,
Yeah.
so there was some idea, there was some market research, there was some market potential, and a lot of people told us, "Hey guys, it's really good strategy." But, and this is the biggest problem, we raised. We raised 150,000 of euros for like 5 or 6 months, but and it's really obvious right now, Captain Obvious, that it's not much for enterprise segment and SMB segment.
Yeah.
So sales cycle for enterprise segment is almost 1 year, right? And you need to push clients, and you need to educate clients, and you need a lot of things to get your first clients without any credibility on the market. So that was really hard. Credibility was really hard for us to reach, and so we raised less money than we needed at the beginning. We had some market potential, but right after we raised first bunch of money, Corona came to Czech Republic, so everything was like, like after like bomb here, and we had really, I think, good content strategy, and we wanted to post it on LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. But like I think that from March, when you posted on LinkedIn something else than Corona, you was really like shit, and everyone asked you, "Hey, why are you sharing this? It's not about Corona, and people are struggling with this, and you are posting something about e-commerce. Who cares?" So that was quite a big problem, and we also had really good feedback from our clients. But it was like, "Hey guys, I think that this is really like cool idea. I think that this has potential, and all right, so let's speak about this next year because of Corona." So and it was like, all right, so we won't be here, but we can still talk about this, right? So
okay, yeah. I guess like you didn't have enough money to bridge that whole year of being inactive then.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that it's not just about money. We had no like sales experience, and we had no salesman here, like really like hard salesman who can do like 50 calls a day, and yeah.
Okay. And so like when you raised money, what do you think the biggest problem was? Was it that there was like no market validation really because you did some market research and or was it more like the product that didn't really have any vision?
I think first of all, I think as an investor, if I go back like 7 months to March of 2020, I would never give me any money.
Okay, yeah.
Like first of all, so because market research is one thing, but the interest and clients in the pipeline are really the biggest focus we should have. So we had no like really hot clients in our pipeline. That's the first thing. And when we raised some money, and we in the first day we raised some money, there was the pressure from the investors, right? So we couldn't like focus on our things, and we started to focus on like weekly basis calls with investors, and we started to prepare. And it was really weird mindset, because we had mindset that, and in a rush all around, we had mindset that we are preparing this every week for the call with investors, and it's really shit, right? You are building your own company for you, and you are trying to get your clients for you and for your future. And it was like, all right, so they'll be really like mad about this, and they'll be really upset, but what the fuck, they are not your parents, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
no,
so that was the biggest problem, the stress like around these investors.
no. Mm-hmm.
And uh, I think that if we had like 10 clients in a pipeline, we could raise much more money
Yeah.
without any stress because we already validated the product, and they are ready for the onboarding. And onboarding in this case took like 4 months onboarding on
Okay.
our platform.
Yeah.
So if we had like if we started with first client with the onboarding like in December of 2019, we could have like 3 another clients in March, and we could raise much more money for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't happen. So
So then, do you think like the money got allocated wrong, or would there have been a more effective way to allocate the money in your situation? Because yeah, you had Corona and stuff. Or
yeah, I think that we should cut costs much earlier.
yeah,
I think that we had really big burn rate, and it was about 500,000 Czech crowns a month. So that was too high. That was really too high, and yeah, it's another experience. So I think that after like 5 months, we started to cut costs, and uh, we went down with the cost on like 1/4,
oh, okay,
something like this.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we should start earlier with this.
Mhm. Do you think a lot of startups have that problem, like that they don't really know what to do with the money, or that yeah
Mm.
they just start spending it because they're spending
Yeah,
have that money?
I think that a lot of startups have this problem because I have, for example, from Czech Republic, guys, they raised 10 million of Czech crowns, so it's something like 300-400 euros,
Yeah,
thousands of
yeah,
euros.
yeah.
So, and they had no experience with startups, right? And they really good idea and really niche segment, and it was really good. But I think that money killed them actually.
Mhm, mhm,
And now what I'm struggling with is that I'm trying to sell the majority like equity in the company
mhm.
and give back money to our investors, right? Because it's like obligation with the investors. So I need to give them the money they gave us before. So uh, I'm really glad that we didn't raise more money
Yeah.
because I would be really in really quite a big problem.
In a
And
shitty
sure,
position.
I can go to liquidation of the company and those things, and I could have no problem with this because I'm like one of the co-founders by but company is a company, and if you
Yeah, yeah,
if you have some shit with the company, it's but I'm trying to do my best to give back money to our investors and like
yeah.
have a like clean table. And I think a lot of startups starting with money they are not to spend anywhere. So I think that a lot of startups are really good, and I think that if you are like a startup co-founder that already had some bankruptcy before,
Mhm.
you're much wiser than first-time founder, and you have much more experience with spending money wisely. And it's really hard to cut costs on your colleagues. For example, it was really hard to go to our guys, and they've been like working every day 12 hours, and it was really hard to go to them and guys, we need to cut costs, and I know that you don't have enough that you need, but we need to go lower than you are right now, and it's really shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was the problem, that we didn't have balls for this, and we didn't go to them and guys, we are real sorry, but we need to do this. And if you don't have money for your employees, something else is wrong, right? So
Mm.
you need to realize what's wrong and tell them, hey guys, we have really big problem, and we can help you to like find another job. And once we are like better, and the health of the company is better, we can hire you back.
Mhm.
But you really need to have balls for this.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine like going to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like especially the communication part of it is really important then, to be able to communicate well with your
Sorry.
um employees about the whole process, because they obviously know that you're a startup and that these things can happen. So I guess that's a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe on another topic, so you're based in Prague.
Yeah.
Um, do you think like it was an advantage that you were in Prague, or did you like consider any other countries to go to, or?
Good question. Uh, yeah, as I said, I established a company when I was 22 years old, and I've been already studying my university here. So that was my uh, first company, and I didn't want to travel like all around the world and build something here in Prague. So I think that Prague is pretty cool city for startups, and the community here is growing every day. And a lot of other successful startups like uh, was built here in Prague. So I have not many experience with like traveling all around the Europe and like compare the cities,
Mhm.
but I think that a lot of, for example, London and those bigger cities are really in the next level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Speaking about startups, so I think that and for example, our investor Honza Bělohlávek, he was one of the president in Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and he was really experienced guy, and he told us that or it wasn't he didn't tell us this, it was in some other interview with him, and he spoke about other cities and countries in Europe, and he told that I think that Czech Republic is really like newbie in entrepreneurship and in the startups, and we don't validate product and we don't validate market fit before we raise some money. And if you go to Berlin or to London or to those bigger cities, and startups are, I think that startup is quite buzzword here in Czech Republic still,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think that in London or Berlin or Singapore or those cities, the startup is like really normal thing, right? So I think that we have a lot to do in the future
Yeah, but
with Prague.
like I guess there's a lot of opportunity for growth then here in Prague. And like because you started at 22 years old, did you get some incentive from from your university or something, or
Mhm.
was there any collaboration there?
No, I think that I had some subjects about the business and about the economy and about the entrepreneurship, but um, uh, the universities here are in a theoretical level, I think. So
Hmm.
it's really hard to go to to the markets and take those really dirty shoes and go to your way. So I think that it's really hard to build something on a school.
Yeah.
Also, for example, University of Economics here in Prague has their accelerator program.
Ah, yeah.
So you can sign there and you can build your startup there in community of other students or and mentors. But
Hmm.
I think that you have many more better options where to go with your startup. For example, a startup yard or other accelerators and
Hmm.
programs for startups. So I think that schools here are not so good with um, encouraging their students for business.
Yeah.
So, for example, I don't know the English name of the school, ČVUT. It's University of Technical People. All right.
Mhm.
So they are building the robots, and they are building AI and those things. They're really cool school. One of the hardest in Czech Republic. And I think that a lot of startups are built there. I think that it's really good like environment for building your ideas and building your startups, because you have basement for this. You have technical things about you. You have a lot of people interested in technology, and it's really good. And I think a lot of people starting there in Čebauče. All right, it's Czech, Czech name. It's really good basement for startups, I think. And they
Mhm.
are once you have, I think that once you have the technical knowledge,
Yeah.
startup, you can earn the soft skills in the future, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
but not in opposite way. So I think that a lot of people from University of Economics, my school, are really good in business plans, marketing, but it's in a tech, it's in theory level, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when you go to the market, a lot of people from this school are not able to do anything. They have to learn everything from scratch, I think. So, or that's just my experience, and that's my feeling about my schoolmates. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And do you think like from the government has some incentives, or are they more like a roadblock for you in the sense of?
Mm. I think that the government are trying to do their best,
Mhm.
but it's not on a level such as London or like UK and Germany.
Yeah.
And I think that there's like many things they can do better, but it's not the worst thing here, I think, for the company. So a lot of, for example, Czech organization, they are trying to do like Czech Invest, and it's program for startups. You can go there, and they have some mentors for you, and you can earn some credit and spend it for consultancy, mentoring.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do some financial things and those things. So it's better than nothing. It's really good, and you can spend your credits wisely. And if you are if you are Homo sapiens, you can earn everything from this really in a good way. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because in Belgium we also in my university we also have a similar thing where we have like an organization that really
Mhm.
supports the startup community, and like you can build your own startup in university. So yeah, that's really nice. Maybe onto another question. You were mainly focused on B2B. Um, do you think it's harder to target B2B or B2C in that sense? And did you choose it like that?
I think that nothing is easy, right?
Yeah.
So I think that if you want to go to B2C, there is the competition there is really big, and it's the same thing in B2B. And we also did B2B2B, so we were trying to sell this software to agencies so they can build their own e-commerce solutions for their clients.
Hmm.
So it's not so hard. I think that if you have, and one more time, it's starting with validation. If you have,
Yeah.
if you are trying to validate your product on B2C market or B2B market, it's same thing, I think. So you're trying to get uh, the opinion of your potential customers, and doesn't matter if it's CEO or it's one of a member of my family. So I think that, oh, yeah, sure, methodology will be much different, right? In both cases. But I think that B2B is hard, same as B2C for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So there's no like, and for example, for many people will be much better to go to B2B because they have some good feeling about this, and
Yeah.
they don't want to bring some one wheel product for B2C clients, right? So they just don't want to, and they want to build some software service software for B2B. So I think that's I think that's yeah.
So some people say it's easier for B2B clients, for B2B
Mhm.
startups, because, well, especially if you already have the established network in that certain
Mhm.
industry, then you can already start contacting those people, and you already have like this relationship with them.
All right, true,
So,
true. Yeah, that's right.
but yes, I heard like other people say like, yeah, B2B is then the disadvantage of B2B is that like is that there's so much lead time to it, and that it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I know many companies that are building some software for B2C clients, for freelancers, and for example, one designer or one coder, and they realize that if they want to earn much more money, they need to go to B2B segment, to enterprises, and they need to like transform their product for enterprises. So there's two levels of this. They are trying to build something like mainstream software for example, Photoshop, right? Photoshop
Yeah.
is for freelancers, and they are building something uh, more or less similar in Photoshop. And they realize that, hey guys, we need to make really big bunch of money, so we need to go to enterprises because they are able to really pay what we want. So
hmm hmm Yeah, you're exactly. Um, Maybe a little bit of an irrelevant question, because your company is kind of, are you going to quit it totally, or are you still going
mm,
to run it, or
uh, can't say right now.
okay.
But my best wishes are that we will be able to run this company in
Yeah.
future, and I'll be doing my best for like surviving this bad time.
Yeah.
And I think that I can find really good partner who can take major equity in the company and help me with some synergy or their network to build this. Maybe, and for sure we will be switching the business plan,
hmm
and the we won't be building software as a service product anymore. I think that it's really that's funny. It's also irrelevant because, uh, as I said, we were trying to build software as a service platform built on Magento 2, and we had information from USA that Magento, as a company, Magento, uh, was trying to build something similar, but for really small clients.
Okay.
And I had a I had a call with ex-CEO, and Magento Go, it was the name of this project. Magento Go was running for 3 years, and they like quit it. It
Okay.
was like they had 10,000 of users, 10,000 of users, and they just decide to close the company. And it was like, what? We are trying to get our first clients, and they have 10,000, and they are quitting just what the fuck? And it was like I had a call with him, and he asked me, all right, Hamza, how much money you raised for this? 150,000. All right. So we raised 14 million of dollars, and
I mean,
so that was really funny.
yeah, that's a smack in the head.
Yeah, it was like, all right, so
Yeah.
we need to change the business model, and I think that it will be starting like we have really good technology stack. And I think that the one subject who will buy this equity share will be really like really satisfied with
hmm
this technology stack, and we want to transform this to like another agency work. So we will do Shopify, we will do our own development on our technology. So I think that it can be successful in the future. It for sure it won't be like global project and software as a service and scalable and rocket scaling, but I think that it can be sustainable model for long-term business.
Yeah, okay. So I guess like then next question would be, what is your main challenge right now? Is there like
Mhm.
something that you're really stuck at right now that you have to go through
Personally or about the company?
about the company? And
About the
maybe
company. So,
personally too, like it's interesting to because yeah, it's about the entrepreneur and yeah.
all right. So for the company is, yeah, as I said, to look for really good partnership who can help me with the synergy, build another business model for this company. So this is the priority here for the company. And for
Mm,
me personally, for last 3 or 2 months, uh, right after we decided to cut costs and leave our colleagues. Um, it's motivation. It's the biggest problem here because we've been building this for 3 years and it was full time, like as I said,
yeah, all
startup
the
life.
time.
So
Yeah, 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 just like all the time
uh,
pushing through.
and you have some vision, you have some daily work, you have some friends around you, and when we decided to cut everything off,
Hmm.
I was in the same office but alone, without colleagues and without partners, and without it was really what the fuck. So it was really hard to look for motivation every day and wake up every day from a bed and go to work. So this is the biggest thing I'm trying to solve right now. But I think that everything started and ends with self like building something for you. So
Yeah.
if you have, for example, I started to think about podcasts, so I can do it on my
Ah,
own.
okay, okay,
I
okay.
don't need anyone else. So if you build something, and for example, it's in stagnant, so for now, Become is like it's freezed, and we are trying to look for someone else who can care about this. But me personally, I need to build something all the time. And
Hmm.
if it's not Become, you can take something else and build something, or like educate yourself or read. So you need
Yeah,
some vision and try to stay motivated for this.
yeah, yeah. Okay, then like in my research, lastly, I found this statistic. It's like something that everybody knows, but 90% of startups fail over a
Yeah,
10-year period. Um,
right.
and but when looking at serial entrepreneurs, it's really interesting that they're able to build company after company after company. Do you think like it's really advantageous for you for building your second company because it's essentially chance
Hmm.
calculation. And like after your first company, your second company is much more easy.
Okay. Uh, I think so. I hope so.
Yeah.
I think that the podcast project is not a company. It's not like I'm trying to do it just for my own purposes.
Hmm.
But in the future, for sure, I'll be interested in building something else. And maybe not the owner of the idea, maybe not the CEO, but have a really good bunch of people around me and build something interesting. And it maybe I can do something like not C-level position. I don't care actually, but if I have some people who can inspire me and I can grow next to them to the next level, I'll be really appreciated.
Yeah.
So for sure, I think that the entrepreneurship is something I want to do in the future, and I don't want to be employee in a company. Maybe for now, sure,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to solve. And when I've been looking for another solution, how to how to pay my rent, and
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
I needed to
I guess
find
that's
something
not
else.
a priority.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, Become is all right. Where can I get another money? I tried to look for another projects I can help with, and it was, and I was really surprised that it was pretty easy with the network and with the people around you. So I tried to ask another people for work, and it was pretty fast. So I really appreciate this, and I think that I'll be. And that was the problem. I told them, hey, don't want to be employee. I don't want to be employee because I want to build something for my own, something for me also. So I want some option pool or whatever. So I want to be really like entrepreneur. And so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is ambitious. Yes.
What can I do?
Yeah, it's true. Then, yeah, we're at our last question. So I really like getting advice from everybody. So my last question would be, what specific advice can you give a future entrepreneur? Or like, uh, if you were go back 4 years ago when you started your own startup, what would you tell him like to do after going?
All right. So I think that the first thing I can advise is uh, take your ego and throw it
Yeah.
and go out from your like comfort zone and go to market and validate your idea before you dig deeper to the code and build something. So this is the biggest idea I can give to myself like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And me personally is to keep
Mm.
trying, keep hustling, and one day it will be the day when everything will be good and you'll be rich, as Warren Buffett, for example.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for the interview.